What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bruner Tuner. It's time to crank your hogs with your boys, so go out there and rev them up.
Today I'm going to show you how to properly jack off your vehicle.
My brother in Christ, you have returned.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
Bruh. Cool guys zone.
Please clap.
Wow. There go Terry. What in reverse, Terry?
Man, I'm finna whip this hoe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today we've got some fun stuff for the jog. We've got a marker light set for the rear wheel. To give you a little rundown on what this modification is, if you're familiar with the DEKOTORA trucks or the real bright, decked out, colorful semi trucks over in Japan, this is kind of an offshoot of a mod that they do where they run lights on the wheels that will spin, you know, and not get tangled up because they're using a brush setup on a metal ring inside the wheel. And we're essentially doing the same thing today with the jog. Now I've got this small dinner plate with a hole in it, a couple leads on it. We've got some marker lights here to go on there. And then right here, we've got our brushes. So the way this is gonna work, we're gonna run a 12-volt signal from the battery when the bike is running to this brush. This is gonna go on one side of the wheel and this brush will contact it. What that will do is send an electric current through this wheel, and on the other side through these leads, we'll have our neat marker lights. That way we can be spinning, rip roaring down the road, and we'll be putting on a little light show for everybody.
Properly jack off.
All right, so went to the store, and what I've decided I'm gonna do is use some high heat JB welds. And I'm going with the higher heat just because it's gonna be near the engine casing and all that. And you know, I don't want the bond to break down. My other option would be, you know, maybe drilling some rivets in, and I'm not a huge fan of doing that, so I think this is gonna work good for now. So I'm gonna mix this stuff up, get a nice coating on the underside of this metal ring, and get it stuck on the wheel. All right, so I actually just went under a few spots on the seams of the spokes because that's where this really more rests on. That way I'm not gonna have like an overabundance of just epoxy floating and oozing around. I can keep it in these small areas and it should still give us enough force to keep this plate bonded on here. Something else I'm gonna throw on is this new tail light to get rid of that cracked old one. I tried to repair it with some super glue, but that was definitely a short-term fix. And this one's pink, so it's gonna match all my fun little lights. And how about that? That's looking pretty good. Just wish I could get these made in pink. If any of you guys know anything about resin printing, please let me know, because I would love to learn how to do that so I can make my own fun colored lights, or even some clear ones, because they're very hard to find and seemingly produced in one-off quantities. All right, we've got this thing all mounted. Our JB weld did a good job and it's got it locked in place. So what we've done is run both of our contact wires through. So we'll have one light on each side. And then my plan for mounting the lights is I'm actually gonna use some of this, this thin steel that I've got here. And I'm just gonna cut out a strip, lay it across here, and it'll be held down by the actual bolt holding the wheel to the transmission. And then we'll mount our lights on either side there. I've got my bracket cut out here. It's a little bit rough, but it's gonna fit perfectly in there. And next step will be to get our lights mounted, drill a hole in the center, and then get this wheel back on. So this is what I'm thinking. I'll probably do each one of the stars going a different direction. Just put them right at the edge there, and should be good to go. All right, well, we've got our LEDs put on here. Had to cut some little notches out for the wires to go through. But I think this is gonna look pretty sweet. Let's get this put on the bike. Actually, first, I'm gonna have to get these pigtails crimped with the correct bullet connectors. We'll get this put on the bike and then run that power wire and see how it looks. So I went to mount the wheel and I looked behind where the transmission meets the wheel, and these wires are very, very close in contact. And I wanted to glue these down to avoid any potential contact with the transmission case, which would lead to ripping the wires out and potentially, you know, damaging the entire thing. So, super gluing them now. All right, we've got our wheel markers installed and all set up. Let me give you guys a rundown on what I did. Of course, back here at the back wheel, you've got the brush and contact ring, and that is receiving power from this red wire that goes under the transmission case up here behind the leg shield. And I've just tapped into the brown wire, which gets power from the battery whenever the key is turned to the on position. So take a look at your schematics of your bike and you know, look for a keyed on power. You don't want something that's gonna draw 12 volts the whole time and kill your battery. So just something to think about. All right, so I'm gonna get you guys set up on the tripod here and I'll get the bike started for you and show you what these things look like now that it's dark out. Looking pretty sweet. I've got my little Marshall light, my pink tail light, which you can't really tell. And then we get our marker light here. Those are a ton of fun.